Hello, everyone. How are you? And today I'm going to teach a poem, Wind, written by Subramania Bharti. Now, this is from your textbook Beehive. This is the second poem of your book. Now, let me tell you something about the poet. Chinnaswamy Subramania Bharti was also known as Bhartiyar. He was born on 11th December 1882 and he died on 11th September 1921. He was a Tamil writer, poet, and journalist, an Indian independence activist and social reformer from Tamil Nadu, popularly known as Mahakavi Bharti. He was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil figures of all times. His numerous works were fairy songs kindling patriotism and nationalism during the Indian independence movement. His numerous works were fairy songs kindling patriotism and nationalism during the Indian independence movement. Bharti's work were on variety of themes covering religious, political and social aspects. So Subramaniam Bharti, as you can see here, he was a Tamil poet. This was translated from the Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan. Subramania Bharti was a Tamil poet, and this poet it was translated from the Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan. Now, I've already discussed with you about the poet. Now, let me give you some background of the poem. Now, wind, we all know and we all feel wind. It's the most common thing of our life. I think everybody has felt wind. Now, here the negative accepts and the positive accept of wind is given in this poem. The wind blows strongly and causes a lot of destruction. So, the poet is telling that wind inspire us to face the challenges. The theme of the poem, that wind inspire us to face the challenges thrown at us with grit and firm determination. We should be strong enough to face all the hardships of life with courage. Wind symbolizes problems and obstacles that we all face and go through at some point time in our life. So once again I revise, wind symbolize problems and obstacle that we all face and go through at some point time in our lives. It is a satire on human weakness and the power of the strong human. So both type of human being are discussed here. It is a satire on human weakness and the power of the strong humans. Okay. So this is exactly the theme of the poem. Now let me give you some background of the poem. So the wind is a symbol of difficulties or obstacle humans have to face for their survival. So what wind is representing in this poem? The wind is a symbol of difficulties or obstacles which human beings have to face for their survival. Initially, the poet implores the wind to blow gently, but it does not agree to do so. Initially, the poet implores the wind to blow gently, but it does not agree to do so. The wind blows violently and causes destruction. To add fuel to fire, the storm has once again brought the rain. The storm caused a lot of damage. It breaks the shutter of weak windows. It scatters the paper and throws down books on the shelves. It further tears down the pages of the book. The poet personifies the wind as God. The wind makes fun and exploits the situation. It hurts and weakens the weak person. Man-made structures and natural objects. On the other hand, it gives support to the strong. The fast blowing wind destroys the weak structures like the weak houses, weak doors, weak trees, and people who are physically and mentally weak. So, here we can see the two aspects of wind, its negative nature and its positive. It is acting as the destroyer also to the weaker structure like the houses, the doors which are weak trees, and people who are physically and mentally weak. The poet advises to build strong houses fixed with strong doors. We must be healthy physically and mentally. The poet suggests we befriend the wind and work in coordination with it. Like the wind, we too should use our intellect and use the wind to our advantage. The wind is always on the lookout to exploit our weakness. So it always exploit the persons who are weak. That means difficulties. What is wind here? Difficulties. So difficulties always come to the person who are weak. It comes to the person who are not weak, but generally it comes to the person who are weak. The overview of the poem is that the weak-willed can always be overpowered by the strong. The weak will always be belittled if they don't take control of their lives. On the other hand, the strong can stand and face all hurdles with strength and convictions. Survival is therefore of the fittest. Now, this poem consists of a total of 22 lines only. These lines are not separated into stanza. That means the whole poem is not divided into meaningful segments or stanza. Okay, so I've told you about the poet. I have told you about the central idea. I've also given the background of the poem. So it is a wind which is a symbol of difficulty or obstacle which all humans have to face for their survival. Okay, now in the beginning of the poem, the poet describe wind as a destructor. It blows violently and it causes destruction. So let's read the poem and let's see that how wind is described by the poet. Now I will read the poem. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutter of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling woods, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the door firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. The wind blows out weak fire. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. So you can see how the wind blows strongly, and you can see that how it is destroying lot of things. So let me explain first four line. In first four line, it is straight away, it is the poet who is depicts the wind as a destroyer. So let's understand the poem Strangers by Stranger, which will be explained by me. The first four line I am reading. Wind, come softly, don't break the shutter of the window, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. So in the first four line, the poet depicts the destruction caused by the wind. Okay, so when wind blow very very fast, then what happened? The shutters of the weaker window, it breaks. The paper which is scattered all over the room, it started flying. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. In the first four lines, the poet depicts the destruction caused by the wind. So here the what poet is doing, he is telling about destructions caused by the wind. The poet asks the wind to be gentle. He is telling the wind not to destroy shutters of the window, not to scatter the papers. And he is also telling the wind, when it comes, it throw down the books on the shelf. So in the first four lines, the poet depicts the destruction caused by the wind. The poet appeals to the wind to be gentle. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the window, not to scatter the papers or throw the books off the shelf. So he is requesting the wind to be gentle. Why? Because when the wind enters in the room, it scatters the paper which are kept in a proper way. Okay, he is telling don't throw books on the shelf, otherwise when the strong wind will blow inside the room, the book will fall from the shelf. And he is also requesting the wind, as you can see in the second line, don't break the shutters of the windows. Not to scatter the paper or throw the books off the shelf. Now the next three lines. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. Now who is telling to whom? It is a poet who is referring to the book. He is telling, look, wind, what you have done. You threw all the books down. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. That means the books which were on the shelf, when you blow very strongly, just because of your strength, the book has fallen down on the ground. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. Now he is telling, you tore the pages of the book. That means just because of you, the pages were flying and now the pages are torn. You brought rain again, and it is just because of you have brought down the rain. So he is telling in line 5 to 7, the poet what he is doing, he is telling the wind for the mess which it has caused in the house. The wind has not only thrown the book but also torn the pages of the book, which means that the books cannot be read. The poet looks out of the shattered windows and accuses the wind of bringing in more rain. So what the poet is telling, he is looking at the shattered window and accuses the wind of bringing in more rain. The rainwater can cause further damages to the mess in the room as it enters the room through the broken shutters. The strong and gusty wind signifies turmoil and trouble in our life. So, what does the strong wind signifies? It signifies turmoil and troubles in our life. Now, the eighth line. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. The wind good winnows and crushes them all. So you can see the wind, the meaning of crumbling is here decaying or breaking, and the meaning of rafters is the joining point. Okay, so what wind is doing? Let's see what it's doing in the eighth line of the poem. What the wind is telling, what the poet is telling about the wind in the 8 to 12 line. The poet is telling in line 8 to 12, the poet in a subdued tone accuses the wind of troubling the weak and fragile, or someone too meek and mild to protect themselves from the harshness of the world. What he is telling? You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, and crumbling hearts. Crumbling means destroying. Rafter means sloping beam supporting the roof of the house. So crumbling, crumbling means it is destroying. So frail crumbling houses. Frail means weak. Now he is telling, the writer is telling that you are poking fun at weaklings. Weaklings are the too weak to face any problem. Weakling means too weak to face any problem. So he is poking fun at the wind. He is telling, poking fun at means it teases someone. He is telling in fact he is signifying the wind. He is telling you are very clever. You here means wind. You here refers to, yes, you here refers to wind. And poking fun at, that means you are teasing somebody. At weaklings. Weaklings means too weak to face any problem. You are teasing somebody who is very weak, who is not able to face problem. Frail. Frail means crumbling, and crumbling means destroying. So he is telling weak. Frail means, I told you, weak. Weak crumbling houses. Weak crumbling means destroying. So weak houses are destroyed by the wind. Crumbling doors, doors which are very weak, the door which are supposed to be mended, those types of door. And crumbling rafters are sloping beams supporting the roof of a house. So these needs mending, otherwise they will be destroyed with the help of the wind. And not only that, the poet is telling about the crumbling heart also. So even the heart will be destroyed. The wind god winnows and crushes them all. So in line 8 to 12, the poet in a subdued tone accuses the wind of troubling the weak and fragile, or someone too meek and mild to protect themselves from the harshness of the world. The wind tears down doors, rafters, and even entire wooden houses, leaving people stranded to face the harshness. The situation idiomatically implies that the troubles in life come as suddenly as a wind, causing destruction and leaving behind destruction and devastation. Now the last line. Now you can see, children, how wind is destroying. How wind is described here as a destructor. It is destroying what? It is breaking the shutters of the window. It is scattering the paper as the wind. You can see in the first stanza when the wind come inside the house. Okay, not only that, it is due to its pressure, all the books are falling down from the shelf. Okay, and also some of the books pages were flying and the pages were torn. So it was requested to her that you tore the pages of the books and you brought rain again, so please don't do that again. So being this requested by the poet not to repeat all this thing again. Now in 5 to 7 the poet said the wind for the mess it has caused in the house. And you can see how badly the wind is throwing the books on the ground. And when the wind is entered in the room, it is tearing the pages. All the pages are flying by itself. Not by itself, but it is the force of the wind which is making the papers fly. And due to wind, the rain is here again on the earth. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Now the author is telling the wind tears down doors, rafters, and even entire wooden house, leaving people stranded to face the harshness. Now the poet is telling the wind that you are very clever. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. In line 8 to 12, the poet in a subdued tone accuses the wind of troubling the weak and fragile, or someone too weak and or meek and mild to protect themselves from the harshness of the world. The wind tears down door. Now wind is crushing what? It is crumbling, it is destroying. Crumbling means what? Destroying doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling hearts. How it is crumbling heart? The weak heart, the person whose heart is weak, they cannot stop the destruction. Even they are affected. Even their body is affected by the wind. The situation idiomatically implies that the troubles in life come as suddenly as the wind, causing destruction and leaving behind destruction and devastation. So actually what the poet want to say through this line, you can write it. The situation implies that the troubles in life come as suddenly as the wind, causing destruction and leaving behind destruction and devastation. Now the last stanza. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the door firmly. Practice to firm the body, make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friend with us. So let's explain the second last stanza. Here the poet stated that the wind is too egoistic. He will not listen to any person or any appeal from any person. Okay, so it is for us to protect ourselves. It will not hear anybody because the wind is too egoistic. It will not listen to any appeal from any person, and it is for us to protect ourselves. We must build a strong structure with firm foundation so the wind can neither harm nor penetrate it. Now the writer is telling only thing we have to do, that we have to build or we have to construct strong houses. Otherwise the whole house will have the impact of strong wind. We must build a strong structure with firm foundation so the wind can neither harm nor penetrate it. And nowadays you can see generally people like to make the window glass window where wind cannot enter. We must further make ourselves physically and mentally strong to be able to face the ill effects of the wind. Now, the writer is also telling one thing, that we have to make our willpower strong, mentally strong, and physically strong also. Then only we will become strong. So for that, what we will do, we must build strong structures with firm foundations so the wind can neither harm nor penetrate it. Penetrate means to enter, to go inside. We must further make ourselves physically and mentally strong to be able to face the ill effects of the wind. If we can do this, then the wind can neither frighten nor harm us. The wind can become our friends. The poet wants to convey the message that if we are strong willpower, strong, and we are having enough willpower, then we can face all the hurdles or troubles in life. That means wind here refers to the troubles or hurdles of life. So if we are strong, we are able to face the wind. We can face all strong and hurdles of life. On the other hand, if we are weak, then we will be surrounded by strong forces and be the downtrodden and eventually be destroyed. So once again, I repeat, the wind can become our friends. The poet wants to convey the message that if we are strong, have a strong willpower, we can face all the hurdles or troubles of life easily. On the other hand, if we are weak, then we will be surrounded by strong forces and be the downtrodden and eventually be destroyed. So above are the lines of, it's the, which line? The above is the line number, it is 8 to 12. These are the line, and I have explained the meaning. So on the other hand, if we are weak, then we will be surrounded by strong forces and be the downtrodden and eventually be destroyed. Now the last stanza. The wind blows out weak fire. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. Now what is the impact of the wind which is powerful? Okay, so let's see. The wind blows out weak fire. He makes strong fire roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Here the poet describes the merits and the demerits of the wind. He says the merits is that it can blow down weak fire. But if the fire is burning fiercely, and then it will make it burn with a stronger force or more powerfully. The poet concludes that the wind is a friend to the strong, but will be enemies to the weaker. Enemies to the weak who fall prey to its force. Meta speaking, we can overcome all our troubles only if we build a strong character. The poet invokes us to sing devotional song in praise of the wind god for motivating us to be strong to face the challenge in life. So you can see, you can